I'm going to explain why your clothing brand has failed. Because a load of people, you probably have or know of someone, if not yourself, have started a clothing brand. And this could be in any sort of niche whatsoever. But most of the time, it's going to be like the 16 to 18-year-olds who are trying to do something for themselves. Yeah, cool. I'm not dissing it, of course. That's great. But they're doing it wrong. So today I'm going to explain how to start a clothing brand, what you need to do right, what you're going to do wrong, etc. But to make sure, I'm 100% not entirely qualified to talk about this. I'm an Etsy seller, and I just scaled. I have like a bunch of different Etsy stores, right? I have my first clothing brand, which is like a clothing brand on Etsy, and that did like 3,000 first month, right? So it's not crazy numbers, but I know my stuff when it comes to creating cool products and selling items, etc. This clothing brand that I just started is going to get to 20k a month by the end of the year, so I know I'm going to scale it a lot. I scale things on Etsy all the time. It's just a same principle for me. So I'm going to talk to you the problems about starting a clothing brand. Let me explain the number one thing. If you want to start a clothing brand, or if you've started a clothing brand, you know about this. You've probably searched for how to find a supplier for my clothing brand, right? You instantly go to Alibaba.com, you message a bunch of people and you find out, oh my God, it's going to be £250 for a sample. And you don't realize that you're being ripped off because these Chinese little scumbags always love to rip you off with the samples, and then they get you hooked. They get you hooked because you spent £250 with them. You don't want to go to a different person after you bought the sample, and then they're going to charge you a crazy price because you're a noob to e-commerce. They're going to charge you a crazy price once you start delivering or buying in bulk. Like, it's actually crazy. People buying at crazy prices. I have my own fulfillment company, and we literally charge half of what the Chinese charge for these products, and we make better quality items. Like if you start a clothing brand, right, you order 20 pieces for your first drop or just for your first bit of stock, whatever. Those 20 pieces are probably going to cost you, like for a t-shirt, for example, that t-shirt is probably going to cost you like $15 a piece with a simple graphic print on the back. If you literally go to a fulfillment company like Printify, then you're gonna buy it for cheaper anyway. So I'm saying it is completely retarded to buy from the Chinese unless you have the good connections, or you should go to a local fulfillment company. Top link in the description for the best fulfillment company for clothing brands, edpod.co. That is my one, that is the one that I own, and everything like that. However, I'm not just trying to plug my own clothing brand. I don't have a clothing brand. I do have a clothing brand, but this is what I'm also this is what I'm talking about today. I'm talking about fulfillment and the issues with getting supply for your products. If you don't want to use my supplier, you go to a different local supplier, sure, fine, go for it. My point is, go to a local supplier that's actually going to be able to provide you the items for cheap. The second alternative is that you actually start making the items yourself. And you need to figure out, okay, what items can I make for a fairly cheap price? You can get different types of vinyl. We can make different cool designs with different types of vinyl. And you can also make fairly cheap screen printing as well. So those are the cheap methods that you can use first of all. But if you want to use something which is more interesting, more unique, like, I don't know, 3D prints or whatever, it's going to be more expensive. And that's where you might need to outsource it if you don't want to buy like a 500 quid to a grand machine to make that item, etc. That's too much waffling to know about suppliers. I'm sure you already know about that, and you already know about the problems with supplying, etc. But the second thing is, I've already said the second thing, we're on to the third thing. The third issue is that you're thinking about the wrong things. When I started my clothing brand this month, I had a simple proof of concept, right? You need proof of concept to guarantee that something is already working. What is already working? Look at TikTok, look at Instagram, look at websites, look at people running ads on Google, etc. What clothing brands are trending? What type of things are selling at this time of year? What is the time of year right now? Look outside, the sky, the sun is shining. It is summer. So sell something that's summer related, or if you're going to take too long and you're moving too slow, then sure, do something for autumn. Do something like jumpers or whatever. It doesn't matter what you do, but the point is you need to sell something that's relevant to the time of year, and preferably sell something that can be evergreen as well. Because if you want this clothing brand to last for all year round, then sell something that people are going to buy regardless of the time of year. And people take too long as well. Like, why are you taking 6 months to prep for a drop? Like, what is going on there, mate? You literally lost 6 months of sales. Do the drop today, make some mock-ups, and then get it done. Like, you're moving too slow. People move too slow in this industry. I had the idea 6 weeks ago to start a clothing brand. I started the clothing brand 5 weeks ago, and then the first month of sales, it did 3 grand. And now we're going to do 5 grand next month, and then we're going to do 20k a month by the end of the year. I'm telling you, you need to just get moving. I'm going to scale my clothing brand to 20k a month before the time you've even done your first drop. You don't understand, you're moving way too slow. So why are you waiting 6 months to do a drop? That's 6 months just gone down the drain for no reason. Okay, that's enough anger. You hopefully understand that you need to get a move on and start moving quickly. So suppliers is the first issue. Source it locally so you can get a move on with your drop. Second issue, just get your ass in gear, mate. Figure out how you're going to start your clothing brand next week. You need to start putting content out there. You need to do the right thing as well. I think the second thing I mentioned was doing something that is trending at the time of year and have proof of concept there. Proof of concept is the most important thing, by the way. Regardless of what you're selling, proof of concept is the most important thing. I have my clothing brand which sells on Etsy and Shopify as well. However, Shopify literally makes 0 sales because I hadn't even started it yet. I just made it like yesterday. So I haven't even done any organic promotion. My entire income is from Etsy.com for this clothing brand. So you need to understand, is the proof of concept there? Okay, I'm not just going to sell something that I think is cool. What are people already buying? How can I make the products that people are already buying? How can I make them better? So it's just simple, right? Don't overcomplicate it. Don't try to be unique. If you want to try to be unique and do something interesting, cool, sure, go for it. But it's going to be way more difficult to make it work because you're targeting a market which doesn't already exist. If you target a market which already exists with other clothing brands, etc., it's going to be easier to make it work. So that's enough anger. And I already said that before. I'm getting even more angry because all these people starting clothing brands just do absolutely everything wrong. The problem with starting a clothing brand as well is that you have zero cash flow. Most people starting clothing brands are the poorest people in the world. And I'm not saying that to insult you. It's probably true. You have no money, right? Why else are you starting a clothing brand? To make money because you have no money. So you're trying to make money with a clothing brand. You need cash flow first of all, because clothing brands will drain your cash if you have no cash flow. So you need to take the money in and then put the money, give the money to a supplier, whatever you need to pay, everything you need to pay. You just need to have money coming in from your clothing brand. So find a way to do it. Are you going to do pre-orders? Are you going to take ages to send it to your customers? Are you going to do print on demand? And if you are going to do print on demand, this is probably the best way to do it if you're low on cash. As soon as the customer pays for something, then you get a supplier to print it for you and then send it direct to your customers. You don't even have to worry about it. They just get a slightly longer lead time. If you're using something like Printify for international for your fulfillment, if you're using something like Printify, which is a print-on-demand company, you pay Printify after you get the order, then it gets delivered to them in like 2 weeks. If you're using something like my fulfillment company, it gets delivered to your customer within a week, right? And you're probably thinking, oh, I don't want to do that. I want to do the drops. I want to fulfill the items myself. Listen, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're going to take too long if you do that. It's going to be way too slow. And as I said before, you need to move quick. You're moving too slow if you're thinking, oh, I want to get the stock in. It'd be nice to send it out myself. Listen, you're thinking like a woman. And you can't think like a woman because you're thinking purely of emotions and what you want to do and what you want to try and build, right? If you want to try and build, you need money in. You're not going to get money in when you're just waiting forever to do everything, right? So that's it. That's what it comes down to. And when you're doing these print on demand, or if you're doing print on demand, don't worry about it. Just get on with it and get the items to your customers. Don't think, okay, the quality's not going to be there. Maybe they want to have branded packaging and they're not going to have branded packaging. Listen, as long as they got the product, they don't care, right? As long as the product is good, they won't care. And you just need to get people to buy first of all. You need to get people to buy. The way you get people to buy is by, I forgot the term, it is called perceived value. That is the term. You need a high perceived value. You just need to have good product images. Literally all you need to do, right, is just make a mock-up. Say you want to sell an oversized t-shirt with your branding on the front here and then a cool print on the back, right? Go for it. Make your mock-up so you can do this again and again, a different design in the future, again and again. And you can use these mock-ups in your TikTok posts, whatever you're posting online, however you're promoting your brand, you can use these mock-ups as well. So, I've given you probably the best advice I can give you to actually scale your clothing brand and start making money with your clothing brand as well. And you're probably thinking, who is this guy? Why is he talking to me like this? Why is he so confident? It's because I know what I'm doing when I'm talking about this, and I've been doing it for a long time. I sell on Etsy myself. I don't just do clothing. I sell literally everything under the sun. So if you want to learn Etsy, then come to me. But most likely, you're watching this video because you want to start a clothing brand. So I hope you found something absolutely valuable from this video. And make sure to check edpod.co. It is the best fulfillment company in the United Kingdom and in the whole of Europe as well. No one can fulfill the products that we make. If you want to get a quote for your products, you want to find, okay, how much are we going to make this t-shirt for, etc., go onto our website and then shoot us a message on the WhatsApp number, and that's how you can get a quote for your products. that you want to sell. If you want to do custom branding, if you want to do like prints on the hem, etc., then we can do it. So just tell us what you want, we'll give you a price back, and we can send it POD to your customers, so you only pay for it once you get an order from your customer. Right, remember, perceived value is very important. Don't sell something which isn't already selling. Have the proofs of concept there already. Don't think like a woman. Think purely logically, not emotionally. You need to make money and make moves quickly. That's how you're going to win.